Rovers of the Internet, and welcome to this video where today I will be attempting to build a competitor to the Ferrari 458 or similar. Now here we'll see we can have the engine mid or rear mounted in these bodies, so maybe that's what I'll use. I could use the Koenigsegg body, but I don't know, honestly. Any one of these could do the trick, but some do look old. The 94 convertible, I think it's a bit too big and too powerful to be utilised in this type of vehicle. Now, it's going to be a full carbon fibre unitary construction of sorts. And that's to save weight. I believe the Ferrari and stuff will use it, although I don't know actually. I think the Aventador used some kind of steel chassis, so would it be entirely out of the question to do that? I don't know. Remember, it's not the highest end supercar, so we have to save a bit of money in certain places. We can't really go with a light truck unitary because I don't think that's going to be competitive. We could go with a semi-space frame. Probably not the lightest technology in the world, but it's definitely worth a look. What do we have what body are we actually using? So we're using this one. I think this only enables double wishbone front, but that's no particular problem. We have a lot of engine mounting kind of options. Let's go with a rear engine supercar for all the chaotic needs of my car business. We can go with push rod on the front and double wishbone on the rear. That's because it's rear engined, isn't it? So we could potentially go with push rod all round, although I think double wishbone all round is probably as good as I'm going to need. Ridiculous as it sounds to cheap out on a supercar. Now, the engine type, well, it has to be a 4.2 litre inline 6. I decided this in my head far before. We'll go with 5 valve per cylinder for now, but if we're easily making the power, I will perhaps change it to 4 valve per cylinder if we're not at an absolute struggle. Same with these internals. If it becomes a real problem, then sure enough, I'll change them. But if it works with the internals it's got, so it will work with the internals it's got, and it does not like this one bit. So we could go with a transverse engine, or we could make it smaller. Or we could go with a V6, which is probably the logical choice here in this kind of car. You know what, I don't want to go mid-engine, so I think we'll have to go with a V6. Even though all the other supercars have more cylinders. Or actually no. You know what, I'm going to do something completely unconventional for this type of vehicle. I think I'm going to go with a Boxer 4 mounted over the rear of the car. So if we go 78, no. Yeah, I see, it doesn't want to fit, does it? That's a problem. How about mid-engined longitudinal? No. I do want to get it in. Does it say? So, rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, it just doesn't want to fit. Maybe I could go front-engined. Now, front-engine fixes the problem, however, it is also front-engine, and as I said, I want it to be a little more exotic than that. So, mid-transverse? Yeah, that works, actually. It's a very strange way to mount an engine, but if I mount it transverse in the middle, I can kind of get what I want. Yeah, accessing this engine will be a nightmare. I mean, longitudinal I don't think is that bad to access, but transverse, Yeah, I can see how this would be awkward, especially if we're talking a larger engine like I am going to be. I'll be talking about 2.5 litres. Although having said that, it doesn't seem too ridiculously filled up. There is some space there. So this is the engine type we'll go with, all in all. I didn't think it would have a 4-cylinder, but so it's got a 4-cylinder. I think we're going to have to upgrade this stuff, but as I said, for now it's a high revving engine until further changes take place. And we will go naturally aspirated, injection, direct injection, naturally per cylinder. It's a supercar, we can afford this stuff, and I may go to multi-point if it, again, makes the power I need so easily, but it's not going to. I also need a turbo, since it's only a 2.5 litre engine. That is not half what the Ferrari engine is in terms of size, so we have to deal with that somehow. I'll just go for regular fuel, like I do with most of my vehicles. And there we go. Basically, it's a Subaru engine I'm going to modify. And it actually makes you think I'm kind of going to the other side now, because I built a car for Fail Racers series, and that was basically an Evo engine. That was an inline 4, which made 500 horsepower. So now we have to do the same thing with a flat 4. Should be interesting, although this engine is bigger since it doesn't have the 2-litre size cap on it. We can also have dual exhaust, which should help us free up airflow without having one massive exhaust sticking out the back of the car. Anyway, high flow freeway and reverse flow for the time being, and I will return when I have done some more on the engine. So it appears to be a bit of a super hyper kind of car in Gasmere, so we'll retain that one. In Frunia, it is also a super hyper car type thing, but we want one with more budget to play with, I think. So unfortunately, we don't have the same budget in Frunia quite, but they like it more statistically. So Frunia may be a good job of it. Arcania, oh yes. I think they're quite a rich country, and although the value is the same, just look at how well they've taken to it. They really believe this is a supercar. Maybe there's not many supercar manufacturers there, but either way, it seems irrelevant searching now, because Arcania has got exactly what we need. People who desire supercars. So what have we got in terms of suspension? I feel like somehow with less power I don't need a sophisticated suspension, although I'm probably wrong there. Should we go with vented discs? Will that be good enough? No, it will not be. Do they want 3 pistons? They want 4 pistons ideally. Okay. I don't want to go with 6 piston though on the front. A bit too far for me. So 94.4. We need to save a bit of money somewhere, but where? Where on earth can we save money on this car? 209. 212.4. 208.4 even there. It goes down if we have wider front tyres. 216. 220. Wow. I mean, what can I say? They don't like wide front tyres, do they now? It's got to have some wider rears, I think, which surprises me slightly. 285s is a good size, especially on sports compound, but who am I to judge if that's what people want? That's what I have to deliver. How is the weight doing? I'd like to keep it under a ton, but I don't think that's going to be a realistic proposition. 290. So it was 221, I think, that we had before. Yes, 223.1. Do. 223.1. 222.3. So does that mean I have to get these slightly narrower? There we go. So very wide rears, not so wide fronts. The fronts are like Ford Focus tyres, and the rears are like I wouldn't say Bugatti tyres, but the rears are much like some very wide sports car tyres. Like you might put on the back of a muscle car or something. A very large muscle car at that. You probably wouldn't need them on the back of a early Mustang or something where they were quite light. I think if I actually flare that out, the markets might like that. Might like having a wide body to it. They seemed to like it when I was doing it just then. 223.9. Yeah. What can I say? They do like having a wide body. So, anything else to do? We could wide body eyes the front a bit more. And that would give us, hopefully, a lower centre of gravity overall. 224.2. So 60 is about the limit to where I want to go there. Fair enough. And that gives us a low-slung sports car of sorts. It has now got 1107.9 kilograms. It's not as light as I would like it to be. How about lowering the tyres? No, you don't like that one bit. Nor do you like going to semi-slicks, okay. What's the situation over here? It accelerates very well, although if I could get better economy, because I was noticing earlier, we've got sub 10 miles per gallon. Dreadful, dreadful economy considering the Ferrari does 21. Okay. You are not enjoying this one bit, are you? I can get 9.5 at least. Actually, that reminds me, maybe if I optimise the engine just a little bit better, I could get some slightly better economy out of it. So we're looking good on the transmission. We could probably lower the fuel mixture, which I basically put up for reasons of power, and up the compression, is it? Or down the compression to match. Will this help? I don't know. No, it won't. Okay. It was worth a try, though. I mean, it's just built so far for power. I could try, but ultimately I did have it on the lowest setting before I did this. Unless I was willing to really compromise power, I'm not going to get that economy, unfortunately. So, what else have we got? We've got the chassis. I can return to the chassis and hopefully save a bit of money because this stuff is expensive. So, semi-space frame. It does save money. Do they like it? Not so much. And they don't like galvanized steel, that's for certain. AHS steel. This stuff is going to add weight. There's no way around it, but there's only so much I can do to save the weight before really submitting to the fact that it is limited. So that's 228 and 93.7. Hmm. 96.7. That sounds pretty good. Glued aluminium. How heavy is it compared to carbon fibre? Quite a lot. Almost like 100 kilograms. But it is the money. And the money's where it matters. How about panel material? So 96.7. How does changing it to carbon affect it? That's a more effective way of saving weight, I think, cost-wise. 95.2. And we can add a bit of weight if we go with aluminium, but that will be better for budgeting. Yes. And they like aluminium. They like aluminium quite a bit from a market perspective. So, as a supercar, even though that's kind of a mass-produced technology, we'll have to go with aluminium. Front suspension, McPherson's strut. No. Double wishbone. This stuff never really affects market values that much. Although pushrod's apparently cheaper. The more you know. So, 225. No, we'll go with pushrod then. So we've made progress in terms of market value. Unfortunately, it's by adding weight. And I suspect more and more weight will be added to this car. Do we need semi-slicks now? Apparently so. But I think we can get the same result by just going with a narrower track there, perhaps, and widening that. Oh dear. I'm not really clicking correctly. 225, 227.1, 229.4, 229.4. Come on. Yeah. So I think 235, 315s. They've got wider along with the car, which has also got bigger and heavier. And that has got 230, 35 even on the front. 229. Yeah, sure. I'll stick to this from a track width perspective. It's almost like a weird rocket ship with the rear wheels this far out. And in this can go on the front. There we go. They are very wide rear tyres. Not as wide as perhaps some cars might have, but they are very wide. And what do we have in terms of brakes? We have the technology I left it at, but that's not good enough for grip, so we need to add size basically. And look at the market flying up right now. Oh dear. What do we have? No. 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. Come on. No. There we go. 265. 241. Yeah, it just skips around a bit, but it's all for the better. It's all for the greater good of the vehicle. 246.8. 47.1, 0.4, 0.7, 0.9. Come on. 0.2, 0.4, 0.5. So they're quite similar. The rear brakes are actually slightly larger, but they have lesser brake calipers. I think if I make them 4 pistons, I could probably balance this stuff out. 49.2. Okay. Why the brakes are the same size, I don't know. But that's the way they are. Have we added electronic stability and stuff? Because that could be some of the means of getting market. Variable hydraulic. Do they actually like that? Probably not. Do they want more safety? 0.5, 0.2. So this Advanced 2000s appears to be their favourite, but it costs a bit more. Standard 90s. I think cost is more important at this point, so standard 2000s is what I'll go with. How about suspension? We'll set it up for sport. We'll go try a few different technologies. Well, maybe they don't like sport, no. Oddly not, normal I think is more preferable to them. Utility? No. Off-road? No, definitely not. Race? No. I can see why normal would be more important if it's a bit more of a GT car. Oh, track premium is popping up. A bit too late for that now. I've built it as a supercar. Which it should always have been. Brakes look small, probably because they are, but they do a good job of braking it. No, they do a good job of slowing it down. We don't want it to brake every time you step on the brakes. It's not a larder. 1250 kilos. What else is there? So we've got that normal. How about air? Go on the best everything. Or hydropneumatic. Active comfort. I wonder. No, active sport is still the best. Although, here would be a good place to save money if I could get it to function well with perhaps a lesser parts list. So, if I go 200 and... It was getting 250, I'm sure of it. Now it's only 249. 245. Unless that was comfort. No. Well, that'll have to do. Sport will be a little lower. But yes, it's all in the grand scheme of what a supercar is. So it's not going to be ridiculous. We could lower it perhaps a little. See what we can get away with. It does let us get away with lowering it a bit. So that's good. The comfort is very good on this. Which I guess isn't surprising since it's got a very advanced suspension system. But comfort is very good there. Maybe that's why we don't like sportiness. Because it pushes it just that bit far and it loses its ideal comfort value. So... 251.5. That is a very low... That's a slammed supercar. It's why it's slammed to the ground. But hey, it works. They like it like that. So don't question me. Don't ask me why. Standard CD. Yes, they do like that. It makes virtually no cost difference. So, should we have it? I don't know. It adds weight. It adds weight, but the cost difference is virtually non-existent. And they really do like it, so... I think we can go with it. I don't think we need sat-nav, but... to keep it somewhat competitive. I don't think we need luxury sat-nav. I don't think we need to go that far. It's no Bentley, but it is still a very, very expensive car. So if we don't have a few extras, I don't know what to say. There's a difference here, quite a pronounced one. I never saw the interior making that much difference, but hey, it should have actually improved the comfort still. Maybe we won't need to spend as much on suspensions now. Yeah, we've taken a bit out of it there, but has it saved us money? Probably not. Double wishbone. Me likey double wishbone. It's simpler, I would say, compared to... what's it? Push rod. So, can we go... Ooh! Sounds strange, but having double wishbone on one end appears better. No. Just McPherson's strut is so terrible. Okay. We learn something every day, don't we now? Full aluminium, push rod, waist car. Wait, 276. Ah, so having push rod front, double wishbone rear, is that better for it? I'm confused. I think they're saying push rod front and rear is better, but push rod front, double wishbone rear, the difference is so small. You wouldn't really notice it. Fine, you know, if that's what they're saying. I'll try going through with it that way. I wonder if it gives me more engine bay room. That would be very interesting. No, I don't think it does. But it would have been interesting if changing the suspension like that gave me more room. And the compression again. Why have you done this to yourself? It wasn't a difficult task. All you had to do was stay doing what you do and everything would have been fine. 287.3, 95.6. So the budget is perhaps not doing ideally, but the car itself has got some potential. Even if it is a little heavy. I would say we can raise quality in places. I did +5 on all the engine quality, but if I up the quality in too many places, it won't be that good at stuff. Oh, we're only matching the Ferrari for acceleration now as well. That's not good. And I've gone one step too far with the miles per gallon. Oh dear. Miles per gallon is not looking good. Yeah, I would do that, wouldn't I? How does it affect the markets? Geared differential? You really like that? How about electric? 89. Yep, you like electric. It apparently makes it really good off-road. Not sure how that works, but go on, as you say, you go on. 289.1. So I think these tyres are good enough for now, and we have the option to put magnesium on, which we could. Yeah, sure, let's do that. And do we want bigger wheels? Yeah, they seem to like that. But not too big. Just 18s. I say just 18s. 18s are pretty massive, especially when you combine them with this width of tyre, but yeah, just 18 inches, I think we can say. And that is 12.99 kilograms at the moment. We have all this stuff for now sorted out. We can have, I wonder, save a bit of weight, No, they weigh the same. Interesting. Luxury sat nav? No. Too pricey for me. And what is here? Comfort, normal, sport. Again, normal comes out the best. It's not as comfortable as comfort, but it's not horrible. I think if we adjust it for comfort, maybe it won't be so... I would say hostile, but I don't know if that's the term. So 95.9. 95.7. I wonder. No. Waste. That gives me no comfort. Sport. Normal, comfort. Normal. I mean, I'm lost on where to take this. I could give it active suspension, but I don't know. I think sport active suspension is important. Dampers is probably the only place I can cheap out. And even then, by what point? Comfort, normal, and sport. 259.3. 262. So there we go. And I think there's 262. There we go. So then we can slam the car, as we did before, to get our statistics back. I think if I get 97%, I'll have to call it a day there. And that will be a happy me. Come on, you can be this low. No problem, see? Nothing wrong with the car sitting this low at all, other than the fact that you'll feel every bump. Yeah, it's still coming up as a hypercar, interestingly enough, which is less affordable than the supercar. Strange things are going on. The electronic differential is keeping things under order nicely. And the engine, there we go. Flat 4 turbo is doing a nice job of things. Now, how high does it rev? Some things, yeah, 8800. There's some things we can perhaps do. Nope. You don't want to rev highly for me, do you? I can't really rev it any higher. I think I'm revving it to 8800 before. Now, sorry. So, yeah. So it won't want to rev a lot higher than it already is. And that is not going to be of any help either. 1, 2, 3. 1. I think if I go back to the boost, raise the pressure. Yep, 480. By giving it more boost pressure, I've kind of forced extra power on it. This is not typically what you would do on a factory vehicle, because you'd want to keep it decent condition and everything, but still, it works. So what can I say there? 480. And indeed. There we go. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh no, 37 psi. Makes it go slightly crazy. It's just, how is it that suddenly everything just drops? Maybe I'll never understand, but anyway, this is our power. Ooh, that worked quite well. 481 ignition timing, save me. I've got maximum about 2 horsepower by tuning this. It's something, even if it's not a lot. Let's hear it, actually. Let's hear the engine. So basically a whole lot of turbo noise. Actually, I'm thinking since I desperately need power, I might just go back to a 5-valve design. Intercooler got me a bit as well. Not much, but it got me something. As I was saying, I just need to get the power. So, 5-valve per cylinder. So it is. It's enough to get me about 10 horsepower, maybe 9. The specifics aren't important, it got me some power. And that is where it matters. Because 490 from such a small engine is quite a bit. I want 491 if it'll let me. If I can tweak 491 out of this unit, I will be so pleased. No. 490. And there we go, 722 on the radiator. It's just a little over-engineered. Not by that much. Just enough over-engineering to get us by, you know. And ignition timing. Maybe it needs a bit more exhaust. Although I've already opened them up quite a lot. Come on. Did that let a bit more torque through? Yes, it did. I don't want to get more through though than that. That's as far as I will go. Says that, and then I'll suddenly go even further. So 355. Yeah. It was worth a try. Come on. 8700. I've actually revved it lower, who would have thought? Do we need a freeway? Or a high flow freeway? The market seems to like having a freeway. Not for budget, but just general market. Sure. Sure enough. But that really hurts the performance, doesn't it? Maybe, actually, maybe I can get 490 out of it still. If I... Ooh, no. Freeway has worked supremely well. I've managed to get a 508 horsepower output from it. Maybe high flow freeway will be better. 509, exactly. Just a matter of tuning, I guess. So... 509. It's small. I don't think it's going to make a difference which one I use exactly, so I'll just go with the freeway, which the market prefers anyway. So what about the mufflers? What do we want here? Seemed like quite a hushed engine to begin with, so I don't think it needs much in the way of mufflers. We could go with a pair of straight throughs. They don't really like them. It had a pair of baffled. How about a single baffled? No. They just want the mufflers the way they are. Even if there's extra power to be had there, which we weren't taking advantage of. Oh well. And I feel like this hasn't registered properly because we should technically have more airflow and more power, surely, but it just doesn't seem to be showing. And this is with two massive exhausts on. Like, they are pretty massive. It's a 2.5 litre engine, remember? So, I don't know what to say. We've got the body here. How heavy is this entire package now? Now we've actually got some kind of supercar power output, 508 horsepower, I think it was. We've got 1312 kilos. Fuel economy, dreadful. We've got very little sportiness, which is surprising for a sports car. Especially one that does this well in its market values. Where is the miles per gallon? I see it. 8.6. Just got 8.6 there for a brief moment. Miles per gallon. 3.2 seconds 0 to 60. And a downforce under tray. So I just recorded a clip where it messed up the audio, but I did change to McPherson strut front suspension and pushrod rear because it did improve the market value, although it's now gone down again. And that is very loud on my end, I don't know why in particular, but as you'll see, solid axle coil isn't particularly great, as you would expect. Mine is not as poor either, as I might expect. How does pushrod fare on the front? Not so well. So it does like having a, I guess you could say, poor suspension type on the front. Although it's not the worst, that's for sure. I think we could go with double wishbone rear. I don't think the difference is too bad, although apparently the cost difference is virtually non-existent. So you'd think pushrod. I know double wishbone is surely more compact and lighter and cheaper. So, yeah, let's try double wishbone. Keep the car relatively simple since we can. And there we go. We've got the same suspension setup as I think a Honda HR-V has on a mid-engine supercar. So that's an attribute that is a little strange, what we can say. I wonder if we go back to the engine, if there's anything we can tweak here. Yeah. There we go. I just got that feeling that I could touch something and I would suddenly make power. And so I did. I made about, I don't know, a fifth of a horsepower or something. But nonetheless, it feels good to me. So what do we have? I think if we have some lights down here, we can start designing the front end now. These won't be the main lights. It's not going to be my most impressive works yet, but I just have an idea in mind as to where I could go with that, and that is already tearing up the front end, so unless I can, I don't know, can I do that? Can I get away with that? Does it work well enough? What if I flip it upside down? No, it's too noticeable. Okay, they work though. I think they're dodge lights from the charger. And what else do we have? We have a dual clutch transmission. We have our radials. Okay. So here's the other thing I was doing just before my recording software crashed. I was trying to cheapen the brakes, if that makes sense, by going with vented discs and just making them larger, because you'd think carbon ceramic quite expensive. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe carbon ceramics are comparatively cheap, but this is what I was trying. So 261.4 there. Just see what I can get out of it in terms of market statistics, and then I will work from there. 270 is definitely possible. So 271.5, yeah, going up. 0.4, oh dear. You do need some massive vented discs to actually slow this thing. I'm thinking though, if I do go and lighten it again, I don't know, I feel weight isn't the issue though, so it seems a bit odd that I should go around lightening the car. And why do the rear brakes have to be larger than the fronts? That just doesn't sound right in the slightest, especially not with such wide rear tyres. But anyway, yeah, it's basically asking for brakes I feel are far larger than they need to be. Where's the shaper doodah? There we go. Just thinking I could move a door back, perhaps. We could do that. Makes it look a bit more stubby. Messes with the rear tyre widths as well as so it is. Should we? You know, McPherson's sort of really messed with the, what's it? I think if I rake that back just a little. Yes, actually that looks good. Rake the entire thing back about as far as it'll go. That I think looks pretty nice. Gives it a kind of coupe-esque look. How about those fins? Should they come down? Yeah, maybe. Or maybe they should just stay about level. Instead of sticking up like a 50s American car, just stay about level with the rear end. I think that gives it quite a good profile, actually. So, we've got to reduce weight with the panels. I was thinking that was a chassis. No. We have carbon fibre. What does that weigh? Crucial thing here is what it weighs. So 1252.5 kilograms. Stiffness shouldn't be that much of an issue. It's 500 horsepower we're putting down, not 9 million. So, yeah. It's low enough horsepower so that we don't have to worry about it too much. And, yeah. Carbon fibre unitary construction looks very, very light. It costs money, but hopefully we'll get that back with all the tyres and stuff we will have saved. Because I was just realising how big I had to make those brakes. That can't be good for the money, having to spend that much money on brakes. However, I've had light cars and they just don't need much braking force because they're so light and there's nothing to get slowed down. Right, it's aluminium now, so if we go to fiberglass, they don't like that on the market score, no, but the budget actually gets worse, ever so slightly, so that's not too terrible for cost. It's a little bit terrible for cost, though. 1205 kilos, again, narrower tyres and wheels, they will save a bit of weight as well, so if it's not the lightest it could be at the moment, try not to be too alarmed by it. And carbon fibre, 94.2, 93.7. They seem to like it, actually. On the market, they seem to like it, although it does cost a bit more. They are at least taking to it well with the carbon fibre. The wheels look funny here because of how I changed the body shape. I'm not sure I like that sticking out so much. Like, maybe it should be a bit more linear, if that makes sense. No. That doesn't even fit the tyres in as they were. So, we have to go full wide body with this, I think. There's the McPherson strut. What can we do? Oh, so we can actually change the shape of this. I'll try my best to hide them, but there's only so much you can do with the body shaping in automation. In reality, I guess you just design the car a certain way around the poles, or you just fit slightly lesser suspension travel onto a car. But in automation, I can't do that. If it sticks out awkwardly, so it will stick out awkwardly. We could have a bit more on the front. Yeah, let's have a bit more front end, not nibble. I don't know what to call it. Overhang, that's it. Because that will give us some much needed, how do I say it? Weight balance. It doesn't look right though. It looks off. To say the least, it looks really off if I extend the front, whereas it looks good when I have it fully inwards. It looks almost compact at the moment, although I'm kind of doubtful it is. I think I'm coming up with quite a good looking car here. So, in terms of suspension, what do we want? Now it's 1120-ish kilograms. Oh no, it's probably not a good time to ask actually now I think about it, because I've messed up the rear tyre widths by going on at the rear track, as I have. Wait, no space for rear seats. I was just wondering how it would take to a bench seat in the front. Apparently not very well. We can have some hopefully smaller vented discs now. Yes, indeed. Oh dear. Still wants large ones on the front, mind. That's it. That's if it's 4-piston though, so I have managed to change that. Brain says I need to go and adjust the wheels now. Oh, the rears are narrower than the fronts. That can't be good for track width. Not track width. That can't be good for handling in the slightest. 232, 93.7. Oh dear. 295.9. How about the front? Ooh, yes. It just likes narrow now, does it? Nope, I don't know. This has got a lot of power to put down, though. So 296.3 might not be enough. Do. 1, 2, 1. Okay. 296.3. They're almost the same size tyres. This car has taken quite the turn, I think. It's quite the turn of events. We can extend them out. Indeed. Why not? And the fronts can stay where they are because they're fine there. Maybe even extend the arch over them just a little. How about semi-slicks? Do you like them? Probably not. Yeah, you probably also want bigger brakes now, don't you? Indeed. I think we might as well just go with carbon ceramics, as much as I didn't want to, with a push towards the lightweightedness I'm going towards. Why is Supercar, though, cheaper than a Hypercar? Oh. I'm sure I was... I'm sure I was on Supercar then, but I've gone towards Hypercar. Because I guess they like it more. Which isn't surprising, really. It isn't surprising that the Hypercar value carbon ceramics more than the Supercar category. 0.6, 0.7, 0.8. Oh dear, they are really filling out the wheels now, those carbon ceramics. And then they're not that heavy, mind, which is always a good thing. They're a fair amount lighter than the wheels on the other vehicles. 0.7. Oh dear. Oh dear. So what can I do? I can make them 6 pistons. That's about all I can do. 294, 295, 297.2. Oh dear. Where's it gone? There we go. 290 mils. Seems to be what it wants on the front. 296. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh dear. This seems to be a bit of a disaster. This would be oversteering all over the place, by the way. I guess better with ABS, but nonetheless. How does it have to have such massive rear brakes and such small front brakes? Doesn't make sense to me. It is under 1100 kilos though, meaning this thing must be an absolute rocket. Yes, 2.9 seconds to 60. It's an absolute rocket off the line, and hopefully 9.5 miles per gallon, which is still terrible. Just slightly less terrible, you know? So that's definitely an achievement. We could go with a premium interior. I think that's heavier though. Oh no, we're on a premium interior. Are we? Did I go to standard? 297. They like luxury interior. That no doubt is going to add weight though. And I don't want weight adding, okay? In this case, I'm putting my foot down. We are not having that. The markets will have to have a lesser car. We can go with luxury infotainment though. If they want a bit of stuff, maybe we can go with luxury infotainment, because these stuff don't tend to weigh as much. These don't have the same effect on weight, although the cost has flown up. So I don't know what I'm building. Is it a hypercar? Is it a supercar? Who knows? I guess it's a hypercar with all these costs associated with it. GT Premium. What do we have in other regions? I wonder if it'll be good there. Because it is now very light and very powerful but expensive to fuel. So I think Deluha is a really incredibly rich company. They just don't like it though. Like, they can afford it a bit better, but they just don't like it in the slightest. Arcania's kind of afford it, and they really like this car, like incredible amounts of liking it is what I mean. So it's probably better to sell it here than anywhere else, just based on what they like. 9.4. Come on. Ooh, 9.6, 9.7. I'm watching the miles per gallon now. No. Okay. An odd place to have the gearing stop, but so is it. 210, it's apparently quicker than the Ferrari. We need to get some aero, though. Speaking of which, you can go back into position. We need the aero to guide you. How about this one? Seems like it might be a good fit. Ah. Kind of locks the boot shut. Unless, I don't know, it's attached in a different way to how I'm suspecting it is. Come on. This is not where I... What on earth? Wings behaving badly. Come on. Wing, where are you? Half the time I can't see it. That's some other problem. So, how about this one? That's not as bad. I can kind of see it at least. I can at least kind of see it, let's say. Do 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 do. There we go. So it looks more like it's creating lift than anything, and it stops the boot from really opening, but it looks cool, so who cares? And how about the front? Front lip. I think I know what these are for, finally. But unfortunately they tear the bodywork up, so can't really use those. Ooh, diffuser. That sounds all the more interesting. You can go like so. We need space for the exhaust, of course. Diffuser is a very regular thing for a supercar like this, so probably best we add one. There we go. We can have, perhaps, no, I would say this one. It looks low and supercar-y, to me at least. Do-do-do. Could I just make those massive and turn them into the headlights? No, it wouldn't look good. Do-do-do. There we go. So, check that. I wouldn't say I've done too bad with this front end. It looks kind of like a supercar should. And that's coming from my design department, which really doesn't know what it's doing. So, bumper bar. We need a number plate as well. We don't need a bumper bar. Why am I going on that? That fits quite neatly, actually, within the space provided. And on the back, we can also have a space for one just here. How does this seem? Not too bad, I would say. The grills, how might we do these, you would say? I hear you say, even though you say nothing. Let's have an Aston Martin kind of grill. Kind of going into the edge of a number plate. If that makes sense. There we go. Whoa. I don't want to mess with you. I want to mess with you. There we go. It's almost got a sad face on the front. But it hasn't quite got a sad face on the front. That's all that matters. Headlights. Where are you? Suddenly I'm designing the front. I don't particularly know why. Let's use these. I don't tend to use these anymore. but they just somehow feel right here. How about rotating you and using you as headlights for this car? Just slot them about there. I think I could ensmallen these. It looks odd, to say the least. It looks odd as a supercar. I think I'm pushing those to the inside too much. They can go to the outside and really still work. We need a badge in the middle just to complete it. So I can't be bothered with them now, choosing a specific one, so just use these. Yeah, my voice can eventually get together. And for the bonnet, I need a scoop. Just this one, I feel. I don't know why. I somehow feel it will work quite well with the design. I mean, it's not typically what you'd have on supercars. It's more what you'd have on a Supra or a Subaru or a GTR or whatever, but I think that works reasonably well. Maybe if we move it back a bit more. It's right on the window trim there, actually. There we go. Can't really move it back. Oh well. Can we put a different one on? That is a question. If we could go with this. Make it a bit narrower. No, not shorter, narrower. Even though they both seem the same in this game. Come on. I say narrower. That worked. We've managed to fool it into being narrower. So there we go. It has got a ventilation on the bonnet where it doesn't really need any, but it might look cool to some people. We can have a door handle. Put a 1940s van door handle on. No, we won't be using those. We need just a standard generic handle. This should do the trick. So you go there. And you can be body colour as well. Or you could be plastic, but I don't know. Maybe not the best looking handle in the world, but so that's the way it's going to sit. The rear end, I think, looks really nice. So I would say the same about the front. It could just be because I've designed it. It also starts looking a lot bigger, though, once I start putting the fixtures on. It could be the way I've designed it to be this way, or it could just be that it looks this way. I think these are NSX lights. They seem like they would be quite good. If only I could actually get them to appear. They're being like legendary Pokemon at the moment. They just never appear when you want them to. And then when they do appear, you have no Pokeballs or something. Which is just the way luck is. I don't know. I would go with perhaps the normal versions of these, but I don't know where they are. Let's try these. I mean, people probably think it's tasteless using semi-transparent headlights like this on a supercar. I don't see the problem with it, as long as it works. If it doesn't work, then there's the problem. Okay. No. Check. So, well. Do we need anything else? Probably got brake lights there. Have we got indicators? Probably got reverse lights, and we could have some reflectors, perhaps. But I don't think they're necessary at all. Vents. We need some vents. It is a mid-engine car, after all. How could I forget? So I'd say do the same we did with the front, actually. have a number plate joint pair of vents, just in this case bigger vents with more effectiveness. There we go. So you go I think we can duplicate that. Yeah, mirror. It looks a bit strange, but so it will. Yeah, with a black stuff on, mesh on, it actually looks better, quite significantly. We can do the same on the centre of the upper part of the back. If this is behind the lights, it should work quite well. Move that. Is that layer 1? Yeah. So that is basically the way of the car. Now it looks worse than it did when we started, but so it would. Such is the nature, actually. Yeah, put it on one of them. Makes it easier to see when there's all the mesh there. Far from my worst idea yet. I'm pretty pleased with my idea of what I've done. Even if it's not perfect, it goes somewhere with all the contrasting design elements. Although the rear does kind of fight itself. I think we need a vent on the side though, just to let air in to the engine. What can we have? If we have one of these, flip it over and extend it up and across a bit. No, not across. Compress it across, extend it up. We could maybe have a decent intake. No. Okay, where can I mount them? Ooh, actually, this would make a good place to mount some high flow air duct things. Oh dear. We need to rotate you 90 degrees, I think, and then work with you from there. So if we make these narrower and then elongate them that way, that would give us some good immediate like forced air into the engine. And we can hopefully put that there. We could actually have that all the way across the back, like so. Not across the back, across the side back window. Like so. And that should deliver some air to the engine if used correctly. And we could maybe have something down there. Ooh, where am I? Maybe have something down there, which would help. Just flip that round. Do we need to? That works. Close enough. So you can also deliver air. It's a surprisingly plain side for a supercar, but if I've got all the air ducting I need, who can complain, right? It's about 1,100 kilograms of flying mass, almost 10 miles per gallon. It's not economical at all, but it is quick, and that is in some cases all you need. We have various bits. Why is it giving me 0 in markets all of a sudden? Oh, the downforce at high speed is causing the suspension to bottom out. Okay. What kind of downforce has it got at the moment? I must see. Quite a bit of rear weight distribution, so maybe we'll need to add a bit of downforce to the front to hopefully contradict that. It has got 866 kilogram towing capacity, which, considering how light this is, isn't actually that bad. We've got a lot of rear downforce and a little front downforce as well, which is really not that bad for just a start when we've got downforce on 0 anyway. Front wing angle will ramp up. Let's see how much downforce it makes now. Oh, it's pretty good. Pretty good, actually. I'd say we need a bit more front, a bit less rear. So try making that down to 40. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I've got to keep the aerodynamics good, so that's why I'm doing that. Yes, I know you've got suspension problems. 83 kilograms front, 109 kilos rear. If I keep going, maybe I'll go to 35 rear, if I can actually find where the downforce is. Ooh, there it was. 3, 4, 5, 6, or whenever. I counted 6 and I think there was 5 there. So, we've got about 15 kilos more on the back. I don't know if that's correct. 1, 2, 3. So 106. How many is that? So 14 and a half. Add 6 is about 20.5 more kilograms on the rear, I think, which sounds about good. Either way, I'm happy with it. We need to sort the suspension out now. So comfort, normal, sport. I can't figure out whether they like it or not because it complains about bottoming out whenever I set the suspension up. They like utility, okay. But they don't like utility because I know what the market values were before. Let's see. Comfort is very good, so I don't think that's an issue on whichever suspension we choose, even sport. So we won't need to use comfort suspension. Is sportiness at risk? Sportiness is kind of average, but drivability is improved a lot by using sport suspension. So I think on drivability's sake, we have to use sport suspension. Come on. We have to... Does it say we have to raise it up or stiffen it? I think if we stiffen the springs a bit... No, that's actually worked. So if we go on sport, stiffen the springs to deal with the extra pressure on them. Stiffen the dampers as well. And we can raise it just a little until it stops bottoming out. And it's still giving us problems. Still doesn't like it in the slightest. Okay. That is strange. Should at least be showing up on the charts. It's very light still. I'm lost. So here I've made a fair few refinements actually, and I'm pretty content it's a complete car. There is some minor suspension adjustments I could see. Also, I have added downforce. I'll mention that now. So it's got 82.3% front and kilograms front, sorry, and 99.8 kilograms rear. Quite a bit for a stock vehicle. And we've got just over a ton of weight. I'll explain how I did that in a minute. It is actually, for cost, not really any different to how it was before, but the market value is a lot worse. I have been following these guide tips though, and it has hopefully given me a better handling, better to drive car. That seems to be what's going on, because for some reason the market goes down, but it is a better car as a result of me listening to other parts of the game. It can apparently have 398 kilograms loaded into it, which sounds very strange for a supercar, because, you know, we're not meant to have that much weight on them, unless it's people, I guess. We have the weight balance is very rear-engined, even though it's a mid-engine car. I'll get onto that later. We have other bits here. We have the active sport suspension. I did have a play around with other ones. They didn't seem to work on the market particularly well, so, you know, just give them what they want. It's on sport suspension now, but stiffened to cope with the downforce, and a little taller as well. Again, to cope with all of that downforce that I mentioned. I think we're still on McPherson strut front suspension. Not that that would be the worst affected by the aero. I'd think the rear would be affected worse, because that's got the engine and the weight there as well, playing on it. We have actually got a sport interior with a premium sat-nav. I decided it would be better to go that way because it would be a lot lighter. I did go to luxury infotainment at one point, but then I came back here, saved a fair bit of weight. So that's part of how I got the weight down. The downforce undertray, I had to actually go to none, set the suspension, and then just to make sure it was working, and then go to downforce and apply other settings. I've got a little extra cooling airflow, but not much. Tiny brakes, which is half the idea, you see. It's not a huge heavy vehicle, it doesn't need massive brakes, so we can save a bit of money there and a bit of weight. Mainly weight, above all else. The bias is 60% front, 40% rear. Brake fade is the only problem I've got, but being carbon ceramics, they shouldn't be too bad in that respect either. Tyres, 195 front, 255 rear. So the rears are not wide tyres particularly. You might see them on, say, a smaller SUV. Tyres of this width. However, the fronts are like small hatchback level, and together they make a sports car, odd as it might sound. There is semi-slicks. Again, that can improve it slightly on markets, as you can see, but apparently it reduces the drivability, and I was just listening to that because it was saying it wasn't a good idea to have it, so I didn't have it. We'll see. No, we'll have 2.7, maybe 2.8 if we're not being cheeky. Seconds 60. That is pretty good. It beats the Ferrari by, I think, half a second, so that is always positive enough. Going to the engine, here you'll see why it's so heavy over the back. It's 165.9 kilograms of engine in a car that only weighs a ton. So that's a tenth of the weight, 15% of the weight, easily. Engine. Now, I could have a look here. I, oddly enough, didn't have a look at the engine materials. No, we already maxed those out, so I think we're as light as we're going to go. Same here. I guess to get the power, we had to do something. The engine is not the easiest fit in this car, so it is going to have to fit how it can. Can we take the body off anyway? There is a bonnet, but I think that's a front bonnet. Unfortunately, not the rear. We could take the body off. There we go. There's our engine sitting in the car, and we can actually hopefully start the engine up if we get through these menus. Also, yes, I forgot to mention now, I have got a small power increase just by playing with the turbos. Yep, there's just nothing, and then 4500, the turbos come on and you get so much power. And yeah, Just hope, basically. Hope that it's not going to throw you into a tree. If anything, this is... Actually, yeah. Regardless of what the markets say again, I think this is a good place to get power. So I'm going to put a high flow on. Just to get that extra bit of power from it. We also have reverse flow mufflers. They'd make it quieter though. I can agree with it on the mufflers. But I want my high flow three-way, what do you call it? Catalytic converter. I also fit a slightly smaller exhaust and got away with it. How does that affect the... what's it? No. Good, it's not going to affect the rest of the car then. Is it? Oh dear. I can rev it slightly higher. I don't think it's really going to affect the rest. Oh dear, where's the body gone? Just check the gearing. Yeah, it's all fine. It's just a bit of extra power, I think, came up over there, and so I had to adjust the engine for it. It's very close to the red line, not red line, the stress limit of the engine, as you'll see, but I managed to cut it off just early enough to keep the engine safe, let's say. The Ferrari does actually rev to 9,000, so in that case it's a failure. However, I've done it with less than half a displacement and 4 cylinders, so who can complain? We have, yeah, I think I made it slightly lighter as well, actually, with that high flow catalytic converter. It's a bit lighter, not by much, but ever so slightly. The design also, before I forget to mention, yeah, it just about fits in the car. The design, before I forget to mention, I have added some carbon fibre bits around the car. Actually, how could I forget? The logo, where is it? First of all, I'm going to paint it tofu. I think I was building like a whip-off of the initial D car, but it was like a really cheap economy car. It's hard to explain, but that's what I was doing, so yeah, and now I've messed up my window lines. There, carbon fibre, there we go. All carbon fibre trim around here. Well, you can't go with carbon fibre wheels because they apparently don't exist yet, so no point in painting them carbon fibre. If we go with all car slot, and we should be able to go add a new colour like this one, or maybe of any of these I don't really mind losing. Yeah, I don't mind losing this one as such, so I'll just modify this. I think if we have a kind of purpley blue shine, add some shine to it. And where's the flake? You can hopefully add a bit more blue. Pearl colour. There we go. Should we add more flake? Yes. I'd say that looks quite good. Core 2 Duo colour even, so can't really call that a bad job of it. And as I was saying, wait, the windows are still, yeah, good. They're still carbon fibre. I think we can have that all carbon fibre behind there. There we go. Just a big carbon fibre stump with a badge on. Seems good enough to me. And what else do we have? I think that's it. Had some small things to do. Also, I'll mention this now. Premium CD and SatNav weigh exactly the same. That's why I decided to go with SatNav. And the lighter ones the market really doesn't like at all. So it was a balance, really. And I think I've done as best as I can. So on we go. We can export the car to Beam. Hopefully this will beat the not retro, the what do you call it? Junior Supercar, because that did incredibly well. I mean, I'm not talking the all-wheel drive version, I'm talking the two-wheel drive version of a Junior Supercar. It should hopefully beat that, because that was a mighty, mighty good car. Far better than it ought to have been. So, if we could beat that, I would be happy. Anyway, to BeamNG. So, here we are at the test course with some really bright headlights, and this is the vehicle we will be driving today. Is it even turned on? I don't know. Oh, yes it is. I just had my volume really low. So, I tried to do too much at once, and I basically spun the vehicle. Oh, almost spun it again there, but I actually realised what I was doing. Oh. There's a lot of power here. I would say there weren't enough braking force. There just about was enough braking force to slow it down. This is quick though. If it is going to set a quick time, I suspect it won't be this one. Because, well, yeah, that. I'm all kinds of off at the moment. Thankfully there, I didn't really hit anything to speak of. I just went off the course a little. It's better that happens than I do hit something. All-wheel drive though would be very useful. It is a 500 plus horsepower turbocharged thing. Whoa. And it doesn't make its power until something like 4,500 RPMs. So, you know, that is quite late. So, I'm just going to continue on to the second lap now. I mean, it lost a wheel when I flew into that ditch, and that's not fair on the car. You may have also seen, though, I did have ESC on, and I did notice that that did actually kind of smooth out the input of the turbo quite a bit, which I'm feeling. There is the laggy part, of course. Oh, dear. Yeah, that's not somewhere we want to throw it away, but I'm not counting that first lap. It'll be slow anyway because I weren't pushing the car as I could have pushed it, so yeah. What would you expect? Come on, first gear. Yeah, just try and get the right kind of steering input. Ooh. Full steering lock here and I'm off. No, there's a tree right in front of me there. I will do something on the third lap. It's a bit of a handful, to say the least. But this is on dirt. I think I'm not remembering that. It's a high performance supercar on dirt. So, oh, delicate. Seriously, what have I hit this time? I thought I could go through that bush. No. I do like the boxer sound, though. Come on. Oh, dear. Yeah, I'd say it looks like a complete mess, but mechanically we're good to go. So I can continue. Right, I've got to do something on the third lap, though, because the second lap, I messed it up, and then I got it stuck. And then I had to kind of tug it out. Well, I think what I'm doing is I'm trying to use all the 500 horsepower because I feel I can, even though I obviously can't. And I just end up messing up the car when I try to do such a thing. Come on, to the inside. Well, I'm not powering here. Now I power. Now I'm lifting. Complete lift into here. It has good brakes, but I'm not sure I would trust them to slow it from like 200 miles per hour. It's not going to do 200. Its top speed is something like 177 because of all that aero I've got running on it. Right, things are going well here though. Whoa. Now I've started respecting this car as it needs to be respected. I feel I may actually be getting closer to the realistic limits of it around this course. I don't think it's going to beat the Junior Supercar because I could quite actually push that car, whereas I feel I can't push this even though it is a quicker vehicle. I just can't push it. Come on. first gear. The other was also naturally aspirated, and this is a turbo. Again, that level of predictability just isn't here. Right, floor it, and across the line. And so, the Farini 854, as I have decided to call it. Yes, look at my lights. Wait, is it L? No? That's odd. Lights don't come on the back, okay. Anyway, my Farini 854 is just above the Audis Quattro by about 360 milliseconds. Is that? And the Monster Crossover has beaten it by just under 2 seconds ahead. So this is a capable vehicle. It has also beaten both of the junior supercars, as it should. It's a real supercar. If it didn't, I would be slightly worried. And all that downforce isn't useful at low speed on the dirt, I guess. All we can conclude is, mid-engined cars, it's just not the optimal drive line. The car tried, the car did well even, but it's still beaten by front-wheel drives and four-wheel drive cars, or all-wheel drive even, as you might say. It's just not optimal to have a mid-engined rear-wheel drive car, or even any kind of rear-wheel drive car. It is the fastest rear-wheel drive on the leaderboard, but it's just not enough to be a truly menacing time. So with that being said and done, I'll leave it here and say goodbye until another day.